Okay, right. Hello once again, YouTube. Andy with you with another little video. So today I'm in Marlborough High Street. Church down that end over there. There's also another church over that end over there. You might just be able to see it round the corner there. But none of them are places of worship. Anyway, before I get into the main video, I just thought I'd come here, grab myself a cup of coffee and a quick crafty bacon sandwich. But there's a bit of history about this place and it's quite interesting. All of these buildings here on that side of the road and also on this side of the road, once upon a time were all thatch. There were several quite devastating fires, I think in 1653, 1679 and 1690, where a fire broke out. I think it was the bakers, and literally because they were thatched, they went from building to building to building to building, and all the townspeople came out to try and put the fires out, and obviously they can't. It all got burnt right down to an absolute shell. Then they rebuilt it once again with thatch. And then I think it was in 1690 there was another fire which went from building to building to building to building, and completely devastated pretty much most of the high street. And then there was an act of parliament, I think in 1690, saying that you can no longer have any thatch buildings. Thatch was basically outlawed and banned in Marlborough High Street. That's the reason why there is no thatch roofs on any of these buildings, and there's a good reason for that. So I just thought I'd add that in as a starter to my video. A bit of history there. But this is Marlborough, medium-sized town of about 30,000 people live in the town. It's a really lovely place. So we've arrived just on the edge of Savernake Forest. I guess we're probably to the east of the forest itself. It's quite a large forest, this one. Probably the biggest in our local vicinity. It's about a 15-minute drive from where I live. So yeah, the format today is going to be basically riding around. I mean, I just bloody love it out here. It's really, really peaceful, really, really nice. It's way out, kind of in the sticks. I've got to be a little bit mindful of my position. I'm going to take a reading now because it's quite easy to find yourself lost, let's say, and to try and then navigate yourself back to here would be a bit of a problem. So I've got my sat nav with me so I can find my way back. So the idea basically today is to go for a bike ride with my little dogs, and at some point get my drone out and fly it amongst the forest in a really, really nice part. So this forest does tend to differ slightly from other parts of the forest. There are some parts of the forest where it's kind of pine, and some other parts like this where you got the more kind of indigenous trees like ash trees and oak trees and whatever else really. But it's just a really, really, really lovely place to be. I can't think of a better way to spend a Sunday morning, to be honest. Right, so I'm wearing some high vis today. I thought it would come in handy because it's a bit dark and a bit dank this morning in the UK, so I thought I'd stick my high vis vest on so the drone could pick me up on follow mode, and I think it did a pretty good job. Right, turn that drone on. Okay, right, so let's start talking to one another now, then I can get this thing up and have a bit of a zoom through the woods. We'll fly perhaps over that way, I think. Looks a bit lighter over that way, which will help the sensors. Okay, here we go then. Right, bit of filming, and we'll see what we can see in this lovely wood. As you can see, it's quite thick out there. I've got to be a bit careful, sort of belting it around really.
Home point updated.
Okay. Right, try and keep it in a fairly straight line and a fairly flyable state as well. So there are some big herds of deer out here. I'm not sure whether we're going to spot any. We might. I mean, stick it on the old big screen, guys. Big thanks to Peter, who does my little intros for me. And I've got a new one. Thanks, Peter. I really appreciate your help with my intros and whatever else. I think they're really good. And I'm hoping that it adds something to the video as well. Okay. Right, we're just going to have a nice relaxing Sunday morning, which is what Sunday mornings were basically meant for. Not sure what that is down there. There's some sort of a fence. I'm not sure whether I ought to be flying in that. Perhaps it's some kind of a pen, you know, for pheasants or whatever. We're coming up to the shooting season now, aren't we? Coming up towards Christmas. The guns will be a-blazing. There'll be some hot barrels, I'll tell you, shooting the old pheasants down for Christmas. Anyhow, I did look at an FPV for this, which looks really quite good, but the cost, like, you know, you're talking £400 or so for an FPV. You know, one of these things you just stick on your face or something. Supposed to make the whole experience a lot better, and you can see a whole lot more, and you can kind of aim the drone to where you want it to go as well. I'm not sure I really want to be doing that, to be honest. I prefer just to look at my screen. My phone on my screen is adequate enough for what I do. Anyhow, thanks for all those people who commented on my last video. Much appreciated. For those who watched as well, thank you very much for taking the time to watch and to comment. I appreciate your viewership. Thanks to Jim Jampt, my good friend from Sweden. I think he's English actually, but he lives in Sweden, in the middle of nowhere. Sounds lovely, Jim. I am most envious, sir, if you live in the middle of nowhere in some of those lovely big pine forests. Not too dissimilar to this, I suppose. We were kind of talking about the whole conspiracy climate thing, weren't we? Not that I'm really into conspiracies. I think what conspiracies there were, I don't think there are conspiracies anymore. I think they're actually coming true. Okay, you might disagree with me there, and obviously you're free to do that, you know, but I do think that the whole kind of the green agenda, let's say the net zero thing, I think it's something almost impossible to achieve. I mean, I don't fully understand it, and I don't pretend to even understand it. I am an environmentalist, as you would probably imagine, me sort of being outside a lot, doing what I do. I do love the woods, I do love the outside. I think we ought to be, let's say, good custodians of the planet. We need to be responsible, you know, with our waste and the way we kind of live our lives, really. Kind of goes without saying, really, but I just get a little bit concerned, really, the direction that, say, the UK is presently going in, and has really been going in for a number of years. It's very easy for the government to start to blame people, you know, for environmental damage. I mean, after all, we do consume an awful lot of rubbish. But, you know, we're only doing as we're told. That's all we're doing. Okay, I'm a bit stuck here, aren't I? Well, I need to try and find a way out. I don't want to crash. Good old Randall's out there, though. No. Yeah, anyway, so, you know, we are only doing what the government tell us to do, basically, and if we're all going to hell in a handcart, then it's not really down to us, is it? You know, we're just following the guidelines of what the government are pretty much telling us to do. Something quite disturbing. Keir Starmer allegedly said some time ago, when he was in the opposition, he said that he much prefers the way the WEF, the World Economic Forum, are actually doing things. He prefers that way rather than the present system under the UK we have. And if you know anything about the WEF and what they're trying to achieve, I mean, Klaus Schwab, who basically set the thing up some time ago, he said something quite disturbing. He said, you will own nothing and you'll be happy. Okay, you will own, just let that sink in for a moment. You will own nothing and you'll be happy. I'm not sure in what universe that actually works, because if I have everything taken away from me, I'm going to be pretty pissed off, to be honest, especially when I work for it for so many years. I think any person doesn't want their stuff taken away, especially when they worked hard for it, you know. So you will own nothing and you'll be happy, and apparently Keir Starmer is okay with that. I'm not, by the way, and I think probably countless millions or billions of us around the planet would actually argue against him, Sir Keir Starmer. That's an oxymoron, isn't it? No, he's an out-and-out socialist, which is like against the establishment, but he's a sir. You know, if he was a true socialist, he would say, look, I don't want your knighthood, you can stick it where the sun don't shine. These people are just two-faced. It seems like every time they open their mouth, they're either covering up for something or just telling a bloody lie. And we're pretty much sick of it. But no, I think getting back to the whole, you know, net zero thing, Jim, you know, the environmental damage. I mean, we've had core samples taken from, you know, the South Pole, which go, I mean, they go back many thousands of years, okay? And we've had periods of cold, we've had periods of warm, all different periods we've had throughout the millennia of time, you know, but all of a sudden it's our fault because it's going warm again, apparently. But some people actually say that we're heading into another ice age. I don't begin to even pretend to understand what that means. Well, I've got an idea in mind, but I don't know how that works. I just think it's cyclomatic. It just seems to me that it's very convenient for the government to turn around and start to blame us, you know, for the environmental damage. Okay, we know that the governments are absolutely skint. They've sold their souls out to corporations. In some cases, corporations have got more power, have got more resources than governments themselves, and therefore the governments pander to these corporations, and I think that's a dangerous position to be in. Okay, and that is fact. That is fact. People don't seem to matter anymore, not like they used to years ago.
it's like corporations matter now. Okay, and we don't know what goes on behind closed doors with backhanders, and we can only make assumptions, can't we? But I think some of us are probably more savvy to this, and some people are coming out saying, you know what, there is more going on that actually meets the eye, and I understand that. Anyway, sorry about the rant, guys. Sorry about my last rant on my last video. If I pissed anyone off, I do apologise for that. It's just that I'm pissed off myself, and I just like to vent my spleen from time to time. I don't think there's any harm in doing that, as long as you're not, you know, saying things which are going to harm people, you know. Anyhow, I need to take this thing to the home point because I'm going to be running out of juice pretty soon, I think. Yeah. And it's a lovely place around here, isn't it? Okay. We're just going to take it out of here for a moment. Yeah, it's a lovely little place, isn't it? They're here. Really, really, really nice. You know, this, to me, it's a form of therapy. I think every person needs to do something, you know, similar to this, to what I do. I'll just give you a bit of an up and a swivel around. You can see kind of the size of this this forest. It's really, really quite vast. I mean, the colours are just amazing. They really, really are. Okay, and that's just part of the forest. The drone's absolutely screaming right now. I mean, just look at that. I mean, it's just, isn't that breathtaking?
Battery level is low. Aircraft will return to the home point in 10 seconds.
To me, that's just amazing. I mean, stick me in a place like this.
Return to home.
And just, no, I don't want to return to home. I mean, just stick me in a place like this, okay, and I'll be really, really happy. I really would be. I'm in my element when I'm in places like this. I really am. This is therapy for me. I think if anyone, and I say it time and time again, if anyone's got any kind of a cognitive issue, mental illness or depression or something like that, I mean, just to come out and just to connect with nature, just get back to basics once again, I think you'll be doing yourself an absolute favour. Right, I need to try and weasel my way back into the wood now, so we try and find a little spot to come into, I think. That might do there, actually. Try and get our way home. I might just have enough power to get myself home. It's getting pretty low right now, but I'm sure I can just about maybe manage to squeeze a few last drops of power out of this. Yeah, hopefully I will anyway. Lovely place out there. We're just going to go and explore this part round here. Just beautiful colours, amazing. Let's go and take a closer look. Let's get filming then. Here we go. Right, let's go and have a little look out here, shall we? I mean, it just looks incredible, doesn't it? I mean, isn't that beautiful out there? Just the sense of freedom. Oh dear, I just hope they don't take this kind of thing away, you know. This is just wonderful. Just being a part of this, really, it's just an absolute pleasure. It really is. Yeah, anyway guys, just stick it on the old big screen. You never know what you might see. I'm uploading my videos in a higher format now, so I'm hoping that it's kind of showing you're getting some pretty good pictures and good video. I do, let's say, try and produce something which is very watchable. Let's say I do try and pride myself on, you know, good, decent quality videos, reasonable content, something which is very watchable, let's say. Right, so this place is a little bit more open perhaps than some of the other places where I've been. I'm just looking around to see. I'm just in awe, really. I'm just in awe. This place is just amazing, I find. Yeah. As I say, just to be part of this is an absolute pleasure. The colours are just amazing. Yeah, anyway, I can't think of a better way to perhaps spend a Sunday morning, to be honest, than to spend it in a place like this, to do what I do something which I really like doing. Oops. I do get an immense amount of pleasure out of just flying around these woods, just going through the little gaps in the trees. You know, just I know it looks a bit crazy, but you know what, I really do enjoy what I do. Hope it gives you guys some pleasure as well. I think if anyone's got any kind of a little drone or something, I think this would be a great way to use it. I think it really would. Just to fly it through some wonderful wilderness. Oh, there's a squirrel there, I think. Oh, here he is, look, Mr. Squirrel. He's thinking to himself, what the heck is that? That's a weird looking thing he's thinking. I've never seen one of those before. Hey, Doris, get down here and look at this thing. He's probably chatting to himself. Oh, he's gone. Probably up a tree somewhere, I expect. Probably thinking to himself, UFOs exist, the aliens have landed. Possibly, eh? Who knows? Anyhow. Well, we saw something. Something's better than nothing. I guess the little squirrels are busy at the moment, aren't they? Gathering their nuts for what could be a long cold winter, perhaps. Who knows? Hopefully not. The weather's been very mild in the UK this past week. I hope it stays the same tomorrow, because I have got a gutter cleaning job to do tomorrow. I'm hoping that it's going to not rain. I'm hoping that it's going to remain fairly mild.